Take that live shot. There we go. Steve, look. Let's take a look.
You got me?
Yeah, I hear you, Steve. This is our chief photographer, Steve Wolfram, who's at one of the power stations. Steve, tell me where you are right now, and tell me what you're looking at. You were just explaining it to me, and you've got a better history of this than I do. Go ahead.
We're at the pump station that feeds the outfall canal that runs up Washington, basically. This pumping station is responsible for draining a lot of the Broadmoor and Uptown areas that you see that got flooded. These two pumps that you're looking at, these two are supplied with 25 hertz power from the Carrollton Power Station. That power went offline approximately 6:30, which is what caused all the water to start backing up in those areas. What is keeping the water still flowing right now is the 60 hertz generated power from Energy, and that's supplying these two pumps that are down on this end. And you can see the difference between what that looks like being all stagnant to this more turbulent water over here where it's actually coming down. And since I've been out here, the water's come down, I would say at least a foot or two just in the canal as well as in the streets. I came back through the Broadmoor area. It looked like that was really starting to dry back through. Parts of Uptown near Tulane and closer to Audubon Park, they looked pretty dry and scared too. It's those low-lying areas. Oddly enough, it's the areas that are always kind of prone to flooding, that when the power backs up, the water is going to flow back where it can, and unfortunately that's back into these low-lying areas right next to these pump stations. My house is just around the corner over here, and I remember when we moved here that they said I moved. I said I moved to the bottom of the bowl. He goes, "No, man, you moved next to the drain," and that's what we're looking at right now. And this drain has been slowly pumping out Broadmoor right now. What were you saying, Josh?
No, I was going to say, I know, I appreciate that explanation. I'm holding the press release right now from the Sewerage and Water Board, and exactly kind of what you said. Turbine 4 went offline this morning, as you said, around Saturday, like 6:30 or so. Turbine 4 went offline and is now utilizing that 25 hertz of power in the form of frequency converters. That's what I'm going off of, straight from the Sewerage and Water Board press release. So you said typically Entergy supplies 60 hertz of power. That it appears is what they lost, and so now they're using that 25 hertz power. Go ahead.
No, thanks for clarifying that. Again, my subject matter expertise only comes from the fact that I've covered these so many times in my life at this point. But basically, so what they're saying is Energy's power conversion failed them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. But at the end of the day, it's Turbine 4 that appears to be down right now. Turbine 5 is also unavailable, but that one's been unavailable since November, so that really would have been down regardless. Right. I do want to go ahead, and I appreciate you, Steve. I'm going to send it over to Rob Krieger here in just a second. No, but that's a good explanation there of explaining why in some areas like Lakeview we aren't seeing the water recede rather quickly, if at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think all the pumping stations still have some power to pump. It's just severely limited because they're not getting 100% of the power that they need, whether it's through frequency converters, whether it's through Energy, or whether it's through the turbine. I think that those are questions that will all be answered in the next coming days.
Right, and so that has exacerbated this issue maybe more than it needed to be, but again, it's an issue that they're working on. They did say if it doesn't rain anymore, Sewerage and Water Board believes that the streets will be cleared out by noon today. So I appreciate it, Steve. Also, be careful out there. We need our chief photographer. Please don't get hit by a car out there. We need you. And I'm going to send it over to Rob Krieger here.
We'll be all right.
I know you will, Steve.